Hi there, this is Catherine. Thanks you for listening to my SEO Tips micro podcast. So, before we get into today's SEO tip, I just wanted to share with you the ways you can support the podcast if you're enjoying all the tips and finding them useful. So, you can send me a donation at buymeacoffee.com/Catherine W. Ong, O-N-G, and that's Catherine with a K. Any and all levels of donation are appreciated. It will help me offset the cost of producing the podcast. So, that's buymeacoffee.com/Katherinewong. I'd also encourage you to subscribe to our email list to make sure you're not missing any future episodes or any other news about the SEO Tips podcast. And to do that, you'd go to wostrategies.com/newsletter. Okay, on with today's tip.
There is no more request indexing feature in Google Search Console. Hello, and thanks for listening to SEO Tips today. So Google has temporarily disabled the request indexing feature in the URL inspection tool, which you find inside Google Search Console. So in case you go to Google Search Console and you just find out you can't use it, it's now not there. It's been temporarily disabled. Here's what Google has said about the feature, quote, "In order to make some infrastructure changes, we expect it's going to return in the coming weeks," end quote. So as a side note, if you're heavily relying on the request indexing feature from Google, perhaps there are some larger issues with your content or the crawl control on your site. But regardless, here are some other ideas around how to nudge Google to index your content. You can have a clean XML sitemap with all of your 200 status canonical indexable URLs in it. You can update your XML sitemap as you publish new content. You can have a launch plan for new content where you share it on social media, have an embargo with the press, which you lift on launch date, have a pitch plan to drive links to the content, send a note to your email list and notify them of the new content. Use a Facebook chatbot that delivers your content via RSS feed to your chatbot followers. Launch a YouTube video that talks about the new content. Talk about the new content on a podcast. The ideas to get visibility on your new content are actually endless. So that's your tip today. FYI, the request indexing feature with Google's gone, but there are still ways you can budge Google to find and index your new content. Thanks for listening. Come back tomorrow for another SEO tip.